Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you on acting through song. So this isn't going to be focused so much on, the rhythm, the tone, the pitch. Those aren't really my main considerations today. I'm going to be thinking about how you can really bring across a character other than yourself. So the first thing we're going to focus on is question number 1, which is, where are you? So obviously where you're singing and the environment you're in is going to make a massive difference to the focus of your eye line. And it's going to make a massive difference to, does this feel more inwards or more outwards? Is this a big number where you're really trying to open up, or a smaller number where you're really trying to close in? Okay, so if we take The Hard Knock Life from Annie, so obviously this is a song of complaint. So you're singing to anyone who will listen, really. So it's aggressive, you're singing out to the audience, you want someone to help you. You don't really know who that person is, but you're looking right at them and you want them to listen. So there's a difference between, it's a hard knock life for us. If you're just staring vaguely out into the distance, you don't really know who you're talking to, you're not going to get that sense that it's aggressive. You want someone to listen to you. You want that feeling to come across. So you want to be looking right at your audience. Pick an audience member. It's a hard knock life for us. It's really, really got to come across there. And again, if you're thinking of something a little bit more inward, so if we take the beginning of Defying Gravity, it's really occurring to Elphaba for the first time that she feels different. So something has changed within me. Something is not the same. So when she's singing those 2 lines, that's really for herself. So something has changed within me. Something is not the same. She's not going to be singing that, although Glinda is in the room. That's really a feeling for herself. She's not going to be looking directly at Glinda and saying, something has changed within me, something is not the same. It's a bit too direct there. She's really got to have that sense that she's looking a little more in herself. Equally, if you're thinking of Ariel in Part of Your World, she's thinking about how she wants to go up high. So there's a lot of focus on that song, on thinking upwards, idealization. She's not thinking of where she is now, she's thinking of where she wants to be. So that doesn't always have to be Ariel directly upwards. So part of your world, some of it obviously is going to be like that, but a lot of it is to do with that her feeling is upwards. So sometimes her eye line might be upwards, maybe her posture, there's that sense of reaching. So I want to be where the people are. Even if she's not looking upwards, she's seeing upwards in her head, and that makes a massive, massive difference. So the way that that's coming across in comparison to, say, someone like Sebastian in Under the Sea, he's trying to get her essentially to keep her fins on the ground. So under the sea, you see those movements downwards, and that sense, it's not a sense of reaching, it's a sense of being in the present. So in the eye line, he needs to be really looking directly out at the audience, and then also sometimes directly at Ariel to really let her know, I want you to be here, I'm in the presence. So his focus really very much is going to be directly at the audience in some parts, directly at Ariel in others. Whereas in Part of Your World, she's really thinking about where she wants to be. So as each new thought occurs to her, you get the sense that behind the eyes, she's not really present where she is. She's looking out and trying to be somewhere else, really. So that's our first important question, is where are you? So my second really big tip, and I always give this advice to students, and I think it's really a click moment for some of them, is sing like it's the first time you've thought of it. It's really same advice I give for acting, really. It's really difficult when you've been doing something, singing a song for 1,000,000 times, and you're the 1,000,000th person to sing that song, to really make it feel like it's a new thought. So if we take On My Own from Les Mis, On My Own has a danger of actually just becoming one phrase, like on my own. Even like on my own is its own complete thought, its own complete word. You have to remember, she hasn't thought this thought before. You need to see that go on behind the eyes. She has to think that thought, oh my goodness, I am all by myself. So on my own. See the difference? She's actually thinking that thought at the time. You've got to think that as if your character has never thought that before. So if we take, for example, another Wicked number, so I hope you're happy. So rather than I hope you're happy, see how there's nothing really there in the difference in my tone that suggests it's a new thought. That suggests I've been thinking about I hope you're happy. I know I'm going to sing I hope you're happy. That's been my plan for the last 8 weeks of rehearsal, to sing that line. It's got to be a shot. There's that big drum beat before then. I hope you're happy. See that little beat there? I hope you're happy. That's coming across as if actually I haven't thought of that line before. I'm thinking of it right now. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to say it. I'm going to look you straight in the face when I say that. So it's got to have that sense of newness to it. Equally, if we take a song like Javert's soliloquy in Les Mis, when he's saying he's staring into the void, he's not had that feeling before. He's been a very secure character in the past. So when he says, as I stare in the void, I don't want to see, as I stare into the void. See the closeness, that's kind of monotone in its delivery. You've got to see in his eyes that he's never felt that sense of loneliness before. So, as I stare into the void. It's really got to come across. That kind of feeling has not been something that has happened for him before. He's never felt that void. He's never felt that loneliness before. And that's really, really important. So singing it like it's the first time you've thought of it. If you take, for example, a part I've played, Elle, in Legally Blonde, when she's singing the song Legally Blonde, she hasn't realised that she wants to leave Harvard and get away from all the people that judge her, get away from Callahan. She doesn't realise that she's ready to leave university and run away, really, until she starts singing this song. So when she says, back to the sun, back to the shore, it's not been her plan for 8 weeks of rehearsal. It's just been her plan right now. So, back to the sun, back to the shore. Back to the sun and back to the shore have to be different thoughts. It's not back to the sun, back to the shore. She's picturing these things in her mind. So really another good piece of advice is picture what you're saying. When you say back to the sun, picture that warm environment. When you say back to the shore, imagine the seashore. If you have those images behind your eyes, the audience are going to see that that's behind your eyes too. So back to the sun, back to the shore. See how my eyes move very slightly. I saw the sun, then I saw the shore. And you can see the difference that really comes across there. So my second tip is, number 2, sing like it's the first time you've thought of it. Number 3 is really important. Who are you singing to? Often when you have an audition song, you just sing out, but a lot of musical theatre songs are sung to a very particular crowd. So for example, if you take Dear Evan Hansen, when he sings, I never thought I'd make it such a mess, he's singing to Connor's family. So you've got to have that sense of intimacy there. It's not appropriate to go, I never thought I'd make it such a mess, as if he's singing to a crowd of 2,000 people. Obviously, I mean, the actor is singing to a big crowd, but he's singing to 5 or 6 people who he feels really guilty about. So you've got to make that focus more inwards. And to be honest, at that moment, he probably isn't even able to meet their eyes. So I want you to imagine those small number, that small family is in front of you. You can't even meet their eyes. So I never thought I'd make it such a mess. I never thought I'd let it go this far. So maybe at some point in those couple of lines, maybe then you could make eye contact. But it should be a very deliberate thought about whether you're able to make that eye contact. Who are you singing to? Okay, so taking another song from another musical as an example, Heathers. So when she's singing, can we be 17? When she sings that line, she's singing to JD. So it doesn't make sense to completely open yourself out. So, can we be 17? Where was I looking at there? It wasn't really clear. She's singing to him. So especially the first time she sings that line, she'll open it out once she starts duetting with him, but she won't open it out straight away. So she's looking at him. Can we be 17? And she needs a sense of pleading there, because he's not behaving like they can just be 17. He's behaving like a crazy person. So what's the emotion going on underneath that line? And that emotion isn't going to be the same for the whole song. Expect in musical theatre to have a lot of shifts within one song. So she says, can't we be 17 several times in that song. And it's going to come across differently every time. So sometimes it might be quite soft. Can we be 17? Did a little eyebrow raise there. It was accidental. I didn't think about it, but I was thinking I want to show that sense that I'm trying to plead with him. And then when it rises to that duet, then maybe now we start to think about opening that out a bit. So she's been looking at him and now we're singing out to the crowd. So can we be 17? And don't take that horrible breath in the middle of 17. That's just because I'm sitting down. But you don't want to give all your belt away too early. You need to have some light and shade and soft and dark in that song. So my question number 4 is, have you thought about your new focus and your new thought? It's very tempting when you're singing, because you're focusing on the tuning and everything else in the song, to kind of blend it into one thought altogether. So if we take a song, again, like Defying Gravity, I'll show you the example of what not to do. So, I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, defying gravity. All the same, there's no meaning across there. When you have a new thought, you need to have a shift in tone. You may need a shift in eye contact. You're going to be doing something different. So let's think about how many thoughts we actually find there. So I think I'll try defying gravity. So she thinks she's going to try flying. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity. So first she's saying, I'm ready to go for this. And then she's saying, I'm actually so ready to go for this. Kiss me goodbye. I'm off. I'm gone. Yeah, that's quite an escalation. She's going from, I think I'll have a go, to actually, you know what, I'm determined. So we need to see that shift where she's going from, I'm thinking about it, to, I'm ready, I'm going to do this. So I think I'll try defying gravity, giving it some thought. Now I've decided, kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity. So now she's decided. So do you see how the shift goes on behind the eyes, and how that different feeling is transferring across to a different song? Okay, so my next thought is number 5, am I actually saying what I mean? We know as people, we don't always say exactly what we mean. Sometimes we've got a subtext, and what a subtext means, if you're unsure, is a meaning going on underneath the text, underneath the words. So is a character actually saying what they mean, or have they got a little secret going on underneath? So to think of some songs that could provide some really good examples there, let's start with songs where the character is saying what they mean. Okay, so if we take someone like Fiyero in Wicked, when he sings about dancing through life, he is actually very carefree at that point. He doesn't realise that there's that much more going on with him, that there's more depth. So when he says, dancing through life, that is really what he means. He is happy, he's going with the flow, he's enjoying it. So dancing through life, you can see there's nothing else going on there apart from the actual meaning. Sometimes characters aren't doing that. So if we take another Wicked song, we take Glinda, I Couldn't Be Happier. She's singing about being happy about ruling. She's singing about being happy about her engagement. But actually, secretly, she knows that her fiancé isn't really in love with her. And so she's got a lot of sadness. So she's trying to keep a brave face. And there's a real big difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So if you go, I couldn't be happier, actually it feels quite real, but you've got to show in her eyes she could be a lot happier. She's lying. So that's why I couldn't be happier. So I did a little look down, suggesting actually little slight darts to the side on the eyes show you're not quite meaning what you say. It seems crazy that a big theatre an audience would pick up on something that seems that far away. But actually they do. They really do catch up on those differences. So, for example, if we take another moment from Les Mis, when Eponine watches Marius go and she goes, little he knows, little he sees. She means it. He can't hear her at that point, so she's not lying to him. So another one to point out there, little he knows and little he sees are two different thoughts. They feel like the same thought, but they're not. Little he knows is about the fact that he doesn't realise she's in love with him. Little he sees is he doesn't notice or observe the fact she loves him. So little he knows, little he sees. I brought myself back a little bit more. I took a deep breath. I went more inwards because I was thinking, actually, he isn't looking at me. He isn't noticing me. So that is a slightly different thought. If we take another song where someone isn't completely bringing across exactly what they mean. So if we think about If I Could Tell Her from Dear Evan Hansen, he's singing to the girl he's interested in, but he's pretending he's talking about someone else. So when he goes, if I could tell her, he's being quite honest. So you can open out your eyes, you can be a bit more honest. So if I could tell her, could be a little bit more open, but then also everything he's saying, he's pretending it's not written by him when it really is. So some of that might be more inward. So if I could tell her, see, I'm looking down there, so it looks a little bit more inwards. Big piece of advice I'd say whenever you've got a song that repeats the same line is you want to give a different tone, a different volume perhaps to that line to make it come across as a different idea. Otherwise it can get a bit boring for the audience. If we take something like On My Own, some of it's going to be bigger, some of it's going to be smaller. So if we take I love him, I love him, I love him, but only on my own, the biggest rookie mistake is to go, I love him, I love him, but only on my own. Doing I love him in exactly the same way made that sound a little bit boring. So you want to vary that up a little bit. So I love him, I love him, but only on my own. See, we've got a little bit more variation there. It's because I'm letting little thoughts come in between those lines. So how do I, ask yourself questions, that can really help. So how do I feel about him? I love him. Is that ever going to change? I love him. And then you have that sigh because you realise he's never going to reciprocate it. But only on my own. So that then occurs to her. You've got to give yourself space to have those little thoughts come into your head. It's another reason it's really, really important to learn your words as well as possible, because then you'll really be able to remember those things. So just to recap on our tips, we have number 1, where are you? Number 2, sing it like it's the first time you thought of it. Number 3, who are you singing to? Number 4, new focus for a new thought, change your eye contact. And number 5, am I singing what I mean? So hopefully you enjoyed that tutorial on acting through song. I would love to see and hear what you've been coming up with. So if you do have an audio file to share, you having a go at acting through song, please do share it. I'd love to hear it. Bye.